Hey, all you heroes, hawks, heralds, crows, pirates, and wardens. Welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we unpack, discuss, and galaxy brain about all the lore behind the Dragon Age series.
We are so excited to bring you this podcast. Every episode, we'll be talking about a different topic in the Dragon Age universe. From character deep dives to exalted marches and elven gods, we will cover it all.
There will be spoilers. And always remember, swooping is bad.
Hello and welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast. As always, I want to remind you that our intro music comes from Pipe Man Studios. So if you like it, go give them a follow and support them. We are here today with our monthly scheduled patron chat. And so we've got some lovely patrons over here. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And they'll just go in the order of my screen. Also, I am Austin, also known as Teacup, and my other co-host.
I'm Shelby. I thought you forgot about me there for a second.
I can never forget you. All right, so Lizzie, you can go first.
Hey everyone, I am Lizzie, or LVCC13.
I'm Capricorn Tower.
Hi, I'm Kolka.
Our newest patron, Steven.
Hi, I'm Steven, also known as Crimson Knight.
Last, but of course not least, Wes.
Hello, I am Wes.
Yeah. And so our topic today is, if you are casting a Dragon Age show, who are you casting for it? But it's also kind of, you're casting a style of show, i.e., okay, so it's a Parks and Rec type show with about Dorian and Maevaris and their antics in the Tevinter Magisterium. And then you cast different people as the people in your thing. That's right?
That's
Everyone
one
knows
example, yeah. But you could do whatever you want. Like it could be something you create. It could be based on one of the games. It could be based on a quest of the game. It can be anything. It could be based on a book. Whatever you want to create and cast, that is up to you.
All right, so I'll just open the floor for whoever wants to go first.
So I didn't go too in depth into this, but I had a thought. What if, so assuming, spoiler alert, Morgan drinks from the Well of Sorrows, right? That means she's connected to Flemeth Mythal for all eternity, right? So what if we had either a small TV series or a short film or something like that of Morgan trying to communicate with the voices now in her head, trying to figure out what the heck happened to Flemeth, because she doesn't really know what happened to her at this point. She doesn't know that Solus has absorbed Flemeth. So I thought what might be cool is her maybe looking for Flemeth just to figure out what the heck's going on. So I had, for casting for this, I really only thought about Flemeth, Morgan, and Solus because I figured she would somehow run into him given what happened. So I thought for Flemeth, Alex Kingston from Doctor Who. She would be the perfect Flemeth/Mythal. She's just crazy enough to make it work. And then for Morgan, I thought Katie McGrath from the Merlin, that was the show, from Merlin. I think she would be a great Morgan. And then for Solus, I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be a fantastic Solus. He does evil really well, and or morally ambiguous, as evidenced by Sherlock.
Benedict Cumberbatch bald is a very interesting picture in my brain.
I know, right? But he's got the thing. He has Solus's face.
I have a personal vendetta against Benedict Cumberbatch. There's no reason for it. I just hate him.
Okay, don't let her fool you because she loved Doctor Strange.
That's true. I did. But I still have a personal vendetta against Benedict Cumberbatch. I honestly think it's because I was on Tumblr in 2010 and we always made fun of him and called him Biscuit
Cumby Bottom or whatever, like just making up stupid names for him. So I think that's part of it. But anyways, I don't like him, but I do see your other choices very much, especially Katie McGrath. I think she'd be really great.
Yeah, Tumblr was a very dangerous place in that particular part of the decade.
Very much so.
I'll go next. So I cast Dragon Age Origins, and for the Warden, I went with Tom Sturridge as a mage. Then for Morgan, I went back and forth on this one. So either Anya Chalotra, I have no idea if I'm butchering her last name, but from The Witcher, or Eva Green. She is I think like a French Canadian actress. She was in The Kingdom of Heaven, and also she was in Miss Peregrine's Home for Something Children. Plymouth, obviously got to just keep with Kate Mulgrew. For Logain, Ian McShane. I think he has like the perfect voice and could bring even better, energy to Logain. And then for Liliana, Jessica Chastain, Sten, Dave Bautista, Ogren, and this isn't going to work entirely because he's really tall, but Christopher Hivju, he was Tormund in Game of Thrones. And then for Zevram, Maxim Baldry, he's Isildur in the Rings of Power. And then for Shale, I also could not decide on Shale. So I just had to stay with Geraldine Blecker, who is also her original voice actress, because in my mind it was like Shale will be mostly CGI anyway. And then the hardest one for me was Alistair. And I kind of just felt like I had to go with Jensen Ackles, but I searched for any other alternative for so long, and I was like,
I love Sten as Dave Bautista. Like, I'm down with that.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, mine is short, so I can go. So mine is very simple. It is just the adventures of Brother Genetivi. I want to know him, going all the places to learn all the thing. And I would cast Jonathan Pryce as Brother Genetivi, who plays the High Sparrow in Game of Thrones. And he also plays the governor in Pirates. That's what I would do. And that's all I got, the casting wise, because I'm very bad at these.
He also plays Prince Philip in season 5 of The Crown, which just came out, FYI.
All right, I'll see if I can get through about 30 seconds without coughing up a lung. I also cast Dragon Age Origins. I figure you got to start at the beginning to get a good show, because this is going to be a 15 to 30 season event. We're going to get the new Grey's Anatomy going. In the first season, I have it. So we're going to have my canon, which is the human noble. It's going to cover Ostagar, and it's going to stop after we boot Connor off of the ramparts in Redcliffe. After the big final scene is going to be the big climactic fight with the Desire Demon, and we're going to get told, now we need to go get the magic dust from the urn of whatever, and that's going to be it. And here I got the cast. So first up, the most important, Duncan, Sean Bean. He's cast him to die. The King Kalen, if anyone knows who Jamie Campbell Bower is, he was in Stranger Things. He was apparently cast in Twilight. For Logain, Mads Mikkelsen. For Morgan, I've got Jamie Alexander. If anybody doesn't know who that is, it's Lady Sif from the Thor movies. For my Alistair, I have Josh Dallas, Prince Charming from Once Upon a Time. My Warden, I have Targon Egerton. And I have Liliana cast as Rose Leslie, because I couldn't think of any other redheads. I also figure less party members cast, the better, because then we can introduce more later down the line.
I like this 15-20 season idea you've got going on. The more Dragon Age content I can have in my life, the better.
Oh, I figure Origins alone can get us a whole 10 seasons, and then Dragon Age 2 can get us like a season, and then Dragon Age Inquisition can get us another 40.
No, I mean, I think the Dragon Age 2 could get at least like 3 or 4
3?
seasons. Yeah, like the first season obviously is like all the Deep Road stuff. The second season can be everything with Leandra, and then the third season can be the Kunari stuff, and then the fourth season is everything with Meredith at the end. So you get four out of that.
All I know is that Daddy Cavill is the air shock because he's shirtless the entire time.
Seconded.
And he'll have to get another white-ish wig.
Let's remember that Grey's Anatomy, I pretend that season like 11 through whatever now don't exist.
I just know that it's been on forever.
The new season's good.
Are you saying you don't want Dragon Age to be a washed up content that isn't very good anymore?
Yes, that is
I
exactly
agree.
what I'm saying.
I guess I'll go now. My show idea is the story of Andraste, going all the way back to the beginning. Action drama, kind of like Lord of the Rings. And for Andraste, well, there's 5 characters that need to be cast. First, Andraste. And for her, I have Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. And second is Mathrath. And I have Mark Rowley from The Last Kingdom, who played Finan. Third is Caesarion, and I have Naveen Andrews playing him. Fourth is Shartan, the elf that Andraste befriends. And I just couldn't picture anyone other than Tom Hiddleston in this role. And for the last role, which is Havard, and for anyone who doesn't know who that is, he was Mathrath's friend throughout his childhood, and he eventually became the person who took Andraste's ashes to Haven. And I have John Boyega playing Havard.
I like that a lot.
I think we're all obsessed with that. Like, I know that y'all who are listening can't see us, but we're all like violently nodding, like, yes, yes, please. Especially me, to Mark Rowley as Mathrath. I would be down bad for Mathrath, but that's only in that iteration. Only.
Another alternative could be Ethelfled from The Last Kingdom as Andraste.
Yeah, but she has brown hair.
It's like reddish.
I think her name is Millie Brady, is her name, that actress.
Ways exist.
Anyway, that was a really good one. I'm kind of obsessed and need to see that now.
Okay, so I guess I'm second to last year. My idea was to kind of do an adaptation of Genevieve Dies at the End from To Winter Nights, because it's one of my favorite stories from the book. So I kind of have 5 main characters going, and that's Philium, a bard, formerly Sister Ladine, Brother Genevieve, of course, Mateo, the Lord of Fortune that guides them on their little journey, and then Rasan, the Kunari woman who is really obsessed with names and knowing your true name. Just her whole life's purpose. So for Philium, I kind of was thinking, since he's related to Trevelyan from one of the Inquisition beginnings, I was like, who looks the most like sort of standard Maxwell Trevelyan? And I got the guy who plays Steve from The Haunting of Hill House. I think his name is Michael Huisman. And I was like, yes, you've got the image. You look like you could be related to him. So, and then for formerly Sister Ladine, I kind of just came up like blast from the past, but I got Hayden Panettiere. I was just kind of thinking she's got the voice. She can kind of play it kind of like I'm doing all of like the taboo like codex entries and stuff like that. I don't know. And then Brother Genitivi, I went a little bit younger than Teacup did. So, and this one I kind of crowdsourced. I got Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul. I think he has the nose for it based on what he looks like in Origins. And then Mateo, I chose Wilmer Valderrama because they're implied to be from Ravane and he's a snack. And I just think of the ending scene from that story where he's like upside down on a table in the tavern and like drinking all the alcohol. And I was like, that sounds like something Wilmer Valderrama could do. And then the last one was Rasan, and I chose Gina Davis because she's a tall queen. That's what I got.
I love that. That was also one of my favorite stories from To Winter Nights. So I think that's a really great idea too. So before I give mine, I'm going to read the ones I have from People's. So I have from Derek B. He said that he would like to cast an HBO-ish series based on Dragon Age Last Flight, which is the book about the Fourth Blight and all of that with the Griffins. And so he would star Ashley Cummings, and she would be playing Valia, who is like the modern day story. He would also cast Olivia Cook as Isaiah, who she plays Alicent in House of the Dragon. And he would cast Johnny Depp as Isaiah's brother Garahel. And last but not least, Jennifer Connell as Amadis Vale. That's a very interesting idea. I really like that one. And then from Charlotte, she says she has two ideas. She didn't necessarily cast them, but she came up with two different ideas for shows. And so first show is a show about the crew who went to investigate Skyhold into Winter Nights. So that would be a really, really interesting one too. And then another show following Meriden and Cole as they go around helping people. I really like that idea. I think it would be really cute. I really, really enjoy that. So my idea is I would cast the story of the First Inquisition. So with Ameridan and his group. And so kind of the end, probably when they're finishing up, maybe the whole story, I don't know. But I really wanted to work in Emperor Draken and the founding of the Chantry into that. So I could cast Draken and Andraste. So Ameridan, I would want to be played by Richard Madden, who plays Robb Stark. For Talana, his lady mage girlfriend, I would cast Anya Charlotra from The Witcher. She plays Yennefer. As Draken, I would cast Chris Pine. For Divine Justinia, I would cast Divine Justinia the First. I would cast Gwendolyn Christie. For Andraste, I would cast Kate Blanchett. Think Galadriel from Lord of the Rings movies. For Heron, who is the Templar in Ameridan's group, I would cast Sam Witwer, who plays Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. And then as Orinna, who is the dwarf in Ameridan's crew, I would cast Sophia Namvet, who plays Disa in The Rings of Power. Cash's mind is blown right now.
I love this idea. This is fire.
You picked all the cute boys.
And girls.
I'm really surprised you picked Chris Pine.
I just felt like, I know Chris Pine is not my favorite Chris, but I felt like he just had the right scruffiness. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him from, I think it's the Don't Worry Darling press tour. where he's got like the longer hair and he's taking like the pictures with the disposable camera. I was like, that fits Emperor Draken perfectly.
And he's got enough arrogance, air quotes arrogance, to be a good Orlesian.
Yeah, I very much agree with that.
Any last thoughts before we go to our break?
Shelby, who would you cast as Cassandra? Because we all need to know.
I don't know. It's hard. That's a hard question. I haven't thought about it. I'll post it in the Discord later after I think about it for a while.
I'm gonna be devastated if I don't find out.
I would cast name is escaping me, but I do know it. Rhaenyra, the old Rhaenyra.
Emma Darcy.
Emma Darcy, yeah.
Emma Darcy as Cassandra.
I don't. No, Cass needs to be more buff than that.
Actors can get buff.
I just don't see it.
What's the name of the person who just played Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider movie? Alicia Vikander, isn't it? She might be a good Cassandra.
Wesbo just said in chat Ronda Rousey, and I want it on record again that I hate him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
I'm literally Googling buff lady actresses. I feel like Gal Gadot could play Cassandra. I don't know if I would want her to be my number one pick, but I could see that. She'd be okay.
I would want a better actor than Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I also would.
That's very.
What about
Elizabeth Olsen could do it.
Emily Blunt?
Emily Blunt is another option.
Are there any Egyptian or Arabic actresses? Because Cassandra's a person of color. So.
Well, that's why I said Gal Gadot, because she's like, I think she's Israeli.
Really, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Michelle Rodriguez too could be one to play Cass. I don't know. Again, I will have to think about it, and I will post it in the Discord though.
I did have one off the cuff cast that I wrote down because I was thinking about Vivienne, and Indira Varma does an amazing job as her voice actress, but I was thinking, like, what if we cast an actual Black woman to play Vivienne? And my mind just went to Janelle Monáe because she's the fashion icon.
Ooh, she'd be good.
I love that.
Another one I can think of. Who's the girl? She plays in Black Panther and in The Walking Dead. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
The one who plays Shuri, or the queen from?
She's an honor guard. She's also Michonne.
Oh, you're thinking of Viola Davis.
Yes.
Oh, that's
she
not
would
Viola.
No, it's
not Viola Davis.
But she would be perfect.
Denai Guerrera.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd put him, but Idris Elba needs to be in Dragon Age. I just think that should be something.
I agree.
Someone said Carl Urban as Hawk, and I very much could see it.
Only if he plays the sarcastic Hawk, though.
Why would we have Hawk be anyone other than Sassy Hawk?
Fair.
There is no other Hawk. There is only Sassy Hawk.
Well, that's not true. And our survey results are proving that that is not true. So let's go to the mid-break and we can talk about all those things.
Yes, that's right. I stopped you to tell you that I'm an idiot. Whew! Thank the maker you know already. Now I can stop worrying I'll be found out.
Do try to have fun, dear.
You could have been one of the Chargers, Blackwall. You've got the stature, the attitude.
And you'd be my boss.
Hey, I'm a great boss. I'm a firm believer in No Pants Fridays.
I'd rather fight for a cause.
Hey, No Pants Fridays is a cause.
Hello, and welcome to the middle of the show where we talk about everything that does not have to do with the lore, but has to do with the podcast. And this is where we thank our patrons, especially these ones here in front of us. Thank you so much for your support and supporting this podcast. And also a special thank you to Lewis H., our Nug King patron, who gets shouted out every episode, and we all bow down to the Nug King. A special shout out to our first ever patrons in Lisa M., Genesis, and Derek B, thank you so much for your support. If you would like to join us on these chats, if you would like to support us financially, you can go to patreon.com/Dragon Age Lorecast and find us there and support us and sign up for tiers. You can go as in our lower tiers and get ad-free and early access to the episodes. Or you can go all the way up and get awesome benefits like coming on the show once a month with us. And we really appreciate that. Another great way to support us is to rate us on Spotify or leave us a review on Apple with 5 stars. We are working to get to 50 reviews total on Apple. So if you can help us, if you have not yet reviewed us, we would greatly appreciate that. Also, Shelby, we have a survey that we want to talk about.
We do have a survey. So we launched last week, the Dragon Age Lorecast community survey. So this is a survey that basically asks you questions about your canon, emphasis on your canon playthrough of all 3 Dragon Age games. And so there's various questions like what origin did you choose? Who did you romance? Some of the major decisions, that kind of stuff. The survey takes like 2 minutes of your time. So if you want to take that survey and get your answers in so we can analyze them, make sure you do that in the next week. The survey's been posted in our Discord. It's in the episode description of this episode, and it's been posted on Twitter. So they're everywhere. It's everywhere. Make sure you take it though, because it will close next Thursday on November 24th.
Another great way to connect with us is to hang out on our Discord. We all hang out there and have lots of fun talking about Dragon Age, talking about Assassin's Creed, talking about the inheritance cycle, talking about Star Wars, talking about lots of things of various topics, having good old laughs and crazy theories. And if you want news about our podcast, that's the first place to look. So you can join the Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. That link can be found in the episode description. And now I think that is all we have for the mid-break. Let's get back to it.
Beg that I succeed, for I have seen the throne of the gods, and it was empty.
Your glibness does you no credit.
You fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
So we've got big news to talk about, right? Is that right, Austin?
That is right. I didn't know that question was to me.
Sorry.
So we have news to talk about because today, the day that we are recording this episode, was launched the Dragon Age Absolution trailer, the next trailer, with lots of content, lots of things going on in the background, lots of lore things, a confirmation that we will be at least partially into Winter for this show. And we got a cast list released a little bit of the 5 main cast members, I believe. So yeah, so we're just kind of here to talk about your reactions.
So for people who maybe are in the dark a little bit, do you want me to read the cast list that we got, Austin?
Yes.
So we got 5 main characters, and those are Miriam, Fairbanks, Quidian, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Hira, and Roland. So Kimberly Brooks is playing Miriam. If you don't know who Kimberly Brooks is, she played Ashley Williams or Lieutenant Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams in Mass Effect. Then we have
she's Lieutenant Commander now.
Okay. Well, she's also Spectre, whatever, if she survives. We also have Fairbanks, the one, the only, who is in Dragon Age Inquisition. If you remember in the Emerald Graves, he is the like freedom fighter-esque character that you meet there, and you can help him. He's going to be voiced by Matt Mercer. Quidian is played by Ashley Birch. Hira is played by Sumali Montano. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she voices the female American Inquisitor. And then lastly, Roland is played by Phil Lamar. So those are the actors.
So initial reactions to the trailer.
I'm so excited for this.
I can't wait. I'm so stoked. I think it's going to be great. Someone apparently disagrees with me, though.
I don't disagree that I don't think it'll be bad. I just have so little expectations for Netflix to do anything right that I just don't have expectations for it. I have such high expectations for anime and animation, and Netflix just never hits that bar.
I think that's fair. I think I was really hyped for it when we got the teaser, and I'm still hyped for it. I'm very excited now that we've seen Cass and Liliana in the trailer, or in the full trailer. I will echo though your skepticism and hesitation with Netflix, especially after The Witcher and all the Henry Cavill issues and everything with that. Very much was a major red flag for me with Netflix. So I feel like if BioWare has a heavy hand in development of this show, it's going to be good. But if they just have kind of like turned it over to Netflix and said, okay, here's the story, do whatever you want, I agree with you. But unfortunately, we don't know. We have no idea what the situation is until we see it. So
typically from like, I don't know a lot about this, but I know little when it comes to like credits in trailers and credits in like movies and opening. When something is just loosely based on something and the creators of that don't have a hand in it, it says like based on a best-selling game by BioWare. BioWare is credited by name, no disclaimers, which leads to believe that BioWare does have at least some consultation or involvement in here.
I'm just expecting them to hire writers that absolutely hate Dragon Age and just shit on it the entire time.
That's possible.
I don't think that's possible at all.
I think,
except for they literally just did that with The Witcher, which makes me nervous now that you've said that.
Right.
That's fair.
But
I guess I think with the amount of BioWare like voice actors, that's why I think that's improbable.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna watch every episode because I'm a fan and I'm gonna love it regardless. But I'm not. It's gonna be like me watching the Transformers movies. I know they're not good, but I love watching them go boom, boom, pow, explosion.
That's fair. That's how I feel about Thor: The Dark World. I enjoy the aesthetic of that movie, but I know that it is objectively bad.
Arguably one of the most important ones because it's the first one that talks about the Infinity Stones.
Right. And so, but from another thing to just kind of throw this out here, CD Projekt Red is in no way near the place that BioWare is in regards to their games. So BioWare has not had a positive new game release since Inquisition. I'm not counting Mass Effect Legendary because it's a re-release of a game. And so they need Dragon Age Dreadwolf to do good, like desperately for Papa EA to still consider them a viable company. And so I think that with Absolution being so close within like months of probably a DAD release, I doubt that they are letting them have free reign over there. And especially because BioWare, at least with Dragon Age, has had such a close-knit circle on the lore of this game and trying to make sure we don't have a lot of contradictions. And I know there's a lot of contradictions between Origins and the rest of the games, but
I think we need to talk about Cass and Liliana, because I personally, and I don't think that I'm alone on this, I was kind of anticipating this to be a transition into DAD, and that, you know, it might set up the events of the game. And so if that is accurate, then this show, Absolution, is obviously going to be post Dragon Age Inquisition, which means there is a new divine, and obviously 2 of the 3 candidates are seen in the trailer, and it doesn't seem like they have all of the accoutrements and, you know, signals of office with them. But one other thing I'm really interested in is that Cassandra is wearing a very distinct armor that is totally different, even from, you know, the potential divine armor in Trespasser. And so, like, this could still be some other kind of different divine armor, or either of them could have taken off, you know, like all of their divine stuff and sent their guards away or something like that. And so that question though is the one that just has my most attention right now, the most of my attention.
Well, with that though, it totally would make sense that we aren't going to actually see who the divine is, because even if in whatever playthrough you're doing, you have Cassandra or Liliana as the divine, even at the end of Trespasser, when your Inquisitor stabs that map of Tevinter, Liliana's walking in her regular Spymaster armor. She's not wearing anything divine related if you make her the divine. So could be that, especially for Liliana, you really don't think she could ditch her guards in 5 seconds if she really wanted to. And Cass would just yell at them to go away.
I guess my other thing though is that I think that it would be better if there is no canon divine, kind of like we talked about in the divine episode, and instead, you just import your world state from Inquisition. But I think having both of them, it would have been better for none of the three of them maybe to be in Absolution as much as I want to see them again, because if they're in there and if there's no mention as to who is the divine, I think that's going to be, there's going to be a cognitive dissonance there. That's what I'm worried about.
Or something could have happened to the Chantry, and that is why they are not in the divine. Which I know, I see all the faces, because we all know from the lore would cause major problems in all of Thetis. But also they could be traveling incognito because they are in Tevinter, and the divine would be a primer target for the Magisterium to lash out against if they came into Tevinter.
Or it could be that it doesn't happen after the end of Inquisition, like the episode we're seeing Liliana and Cassandra in. It could be that this happens before the new divine has gone and had her, hey, I'm the new Pope ceremony. Coronation, that's the word. Before she's coronated. So
I think that's very possible. And I the thing I want to add is the last year on Dragon Age Day, they released short stories that were like 10 years in the future, and everyone lost their mind and basically was theorizing like, oh my God, what if DAD is 10 years in the future? And I think a lot of people just kind of ran with that idea and accepted it as fact based on those 2 short stories. And I think that this trailer, I think it sets it up as that time in between the end of Inquisition and before Trespasser starts is what it kind of looks like to me. So I think that implies that, hey, Dreadwolf may not be 10 years in the future. It could be right after Trespasser, but we don't really know. We don't have any confirmation of that at all yet.
Dolus is not going to wait that long.
Unless he has to.
To be fair, we don't know how long he waited to manipulate Corypheus.
That's true.
So I have more concerns now if we're talking about it being a sequel to Dragon Age Inquisition. I have to be the bad guy because everyone's all hopeful.
No, I think that's good. Thank you for bringing that.
So
yeah.
Now we're talking about how great it's going to be. So what about everybody else that didn't want this person to be the divine, and what happened to the Inquisition? Which means now they have to canonize an ending. And everybody knows that when a company canonizes an ending, everybody else is now losing their mind.
I would just like to point out that in regards to the games and everything, there have been several comics that have Alistair as king that came out before Inquisition, and you can play Inquisition in a world state where Alistair is not king. And so I think that it's safe to remember that like games are the main media of BioWare. And so similar as I always say, the movies supersede in canon of any other Star Wars content, the games supersede in canon any other extra material that involves with Dragon Age.
Oh,
at least in my mind.
That would make I view it as whatever came first as its main source, what is the most canon. Also, is this going to be another one of those Witcher movies where it's a Dragon Age movie, but it takes place in a separate universe, and none of it matters.
Considering we saw Cassandra and Liliana, I'd guess not, but I have been wrong before.
Well, we saw Geralt in The Witcher.
My position is that having read all of Tevinter Nights, I feel like they do a pretty good job of not, and who knows if there's any crossover with the writers of that and this, and it's a whole big shit show, but I do think they did a really good job of not really canonizing anything into Tevinter Nights. They keep it very vague as to what the fate of the Inquisition is and who is divine and all of that. And I do kind of think it's a distinct possibility that it could take place during Inquisition in a way. One of the stories that is in Tevinter Nights deals with the necromancer Sidney, and she goes up to Tevinter to do some random shit up there. And technically it takes place during the story of Inquisition, but it's just so far off field that they could do whatever they wanted because it's not really about the main events of Inquisition. It's just the Inquisition sending agents up into Tevinter. So I think it could be something along those lines.
I'm just so excited for this show. It has been a decade, close to a decade, since something this big, and I just cannot contain my excitement. And I'm probably just gonna have it on loop for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a whole month, and just absolutely shamelessly.
Yeah, I've tried to hold my excitement in for the show, but that trailer just flew everything out of the water. Like, the hype is at 1,000,000% now for me. Like, there's no stopping.
And that blood magic looks like it's gonna be just so OP. It looks so brutal. I'm just so excited for all of it.
And
You're right.
I will also add, I was very skeptical of the animation based on Dawn of the Seeker, based on Paradise Lost. I think that's the name of the one with James from Mass Effect. But I think this looks really good.
The animation is definitely going to be the best thing about the show.
Wow, you can say nice things about it.
Listen, I like looking at pretty things, okay?
Just from the trailer, I'd say the sound's going to be really, really good too. The music immediately drew me in.
I will say I have not been this hyped from a trailer since the Kenobi trailer dropped Duel of the Fates in it. And so that's the same amount of hype I have about it.
Not to be a party pooper, but did Kenobi let you down a little bit?
No, I liked Kenobi. I have critiques of Kenobi, but I liked Kenobi.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the most important thing about this trailer, and that's not even in the trailer. It's in the description below the trailer.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, by the way, Dragon Age Day is coming up soon, but maybe something or whatever will come out before. Who knows?
So I have it because our tweet is kind of like going viral in Dragon Age circles about this. So thank you, Wes, for pointing that out to me. But it says specifically, P.S. If you've read this far, see you on Dragon Age Day, or maybe sooner.
The teases, the evil teases.
Maybe we'll be a day late. Who knows? It's chaos out there.
Exactly.
It's very much giving, see you soon. Don't know when, but I'll see you around. And then they just like pop up out of nowhere.
Because some people might not know, but I clearly know. Can you remind everybody which day Dragon Age Day is?
It's December 4th.
For all the people who didn't know, it's December 4th. I could have told you that, but I wanted them to let you know.
With that, thank you all for your support. I just want to wrap up with what we do know about Dragon Age Absolution. We know that it will be called Absolution. We know that it will release December 9th of this year. We know that it will at least have Tevinter in it. We know that there will be blood magic. We know that Cass and Liliana are in it, though they are never addressed by name, so they could be addressed by as Divine Victoria. So who knows? I think it would be funny if they were both addressed as Divine Victoria and none of them corrected it. But those are the things that we do know, and I'm very excited about it. And thank you all for your fan casts and all your support, and we greatly appreciate it. And so you all can, we'll go around real quick, and you all can plug anything that you have going on. And we'll start with Lizzie.
All right, well, you can find me on Twitch, where I stream Dragon Age, of course, as well as Kingdom Hearts, Mass Effect, and Assassin's Creed at twitch.tv/LVCC13. I got it right! Yes!
I'm Kokashin, or bye, I'm Kokashin's either way it works. I don't have anything going on, but as always, I just want to plug the Discord, and because it is amazing, it's a great group of awesome people, and also become a patron because these patron chats are so much fun, and we would love to see you here.
Yep, I don't have anything to plug, but this has been great. If you're a fan of Dragon Age, just start listening to the podcast and join the Discord.
Hello, I am the Wesbatron, and I started doing a poll about the Dragon Age Origins abilities and spells, about which one is the best one that I occasionally forget to do. But when I don't forget to do, make sure you come and vote because it's fun and we need to know which one's the best for science.
And as always, you can find us on the Discord. You can follow us on Twitter. You can listen to our other podcast, the Assassin's Creed Lorecast, or the Inheritance Cycle Page by Page podcast. I'd also like to give a special thank you to Lewis H., our Nug King patron, who gets thanked at the end of every show. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at DA Lorecast.
If you have any lore questions, topics to unpack, or side character suggestions, join our Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. It's easily the best place on the internet. You can also support us financially through our Patreon. You can find us there on patreon.com/Dragon Age Lorecast.
The Dragon Age Lorecast is part of the Robots Radio Network. For more information about the Robots Radio Network, join the Discord server via the link in our episode description.
If you enjoyed the show or learned something new today, please subscribe, leave us a review, and join the Patreon. And if you enjoyed our intro and outro music, give a big thank you to Pipeman Studios. Thank you, Pipeman. Thanks again for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time.
Ever wanted to be a content creator but had no clue where to begin? Come join me as I sit down with content creators that have already faced the challenges you're up against, as they discuss the tips and tricks that help them be successful. Here on The Content Creator's Guide, available wherever podcasts can be found.